Although we have not encountered Alice in-game, we can still make some conclusions as to her origin and character. Until recently, everything we knew about Alice was through voice lines and item descriptions. However, with the 1.6 update, we got to hear from Alice through a speakerphone and learn a lot more about who she is and what she is capable of. Alice is a famous adventurer, a well-known author, a master alchemist, a near-omnipotent sorceress, and a loving mother to her daughter, Klee. Many of the characters from Mondstadt have things to say about Alice. Most of these explain how powerful she is, but how carefree and destructive she can be, similar to Klee, but on a much higher scale. While Klee is known for fish blasting and causing havoc around Mondstadt, Alice has been in trouble multiple times for destroying city walls, designing explosives, and many other shenanigans, causing several new laws to be put in place because of her. One of these laws can be read about in the gliding instruction manual, which states, "A tourist named Alice created a wind current at windrise by blasting an anemo slime and used it to quickly climb to the great heights with a wind glider." The legendary adventurer performed a series of aerobatic stunts in the skies above Mondstadt. Her performance earned a big round of applause from the crowd. However, Jean, the acting Grand Master of the Knights of Favonius, summoned her and gave her a 10-day detention. Alice met her husband on her adventures, marrying him and eventually giving birth to Klee. While very little is known of her husband, Klee is very well known, both as she is a playable character and through the conversations you have with other characters in Mondstadt. Both Jean and Albedo agree that Klee takes after her mother in many ways, which could imply that, like Klee, Alice is very powerful, yet unlikely to consider the consequences of her actions. Alice clearly has a lot of love for Klee, even setting up a whole island adventure for her during the Midsummer Island Adventure quest of 1.6. During the finale of the quest, we hear from Alice that she even sneaks back to Mondstadt from time to time to check up on Klee and her friends. Reading Klee's character story on Dodeko, we discovered that Alice made the doll for her by hand, saying it would ensure Klee would never be lonely even when by herself. Klee clearly loves Dodeko, even saying that the name means Klee's best friend. One of the biggest sources of information on Alice is the Teyvat Travel Guide, a magazine produced by the Adventurers Guild containing a short travelling diary written by Alice. Currently, the game contains 2 volumes, one on Mondstadt and the other on Liyue. Reading the travel guide gives great insight into how Alice sees the world, as it includes her thoughts on the things and people she encounters on her journey. In the Mondstadt volume, she mentions how she wanted to remove the Star-Snatch cliffs with some carefully placed bombs, but was disappointed when the cavalry captain rejected her proposal, asking her to stay away from the Star-Snatch cliff. This volume also mentions how she used Hilichurls for experiments, planned to burn down the Whispering Woods with a modified Baron Bunny, and blew up several parts of Storm Terror's lair to make it easier to climb. In the Liyue volume, Alice even mentions how she meets Zhongli. However, it doesn't appear that she knew of his true identity, instead calling him the sternest person she knows. She also writes about meeting a weirdo at Wangshu Inn who never talks, which has heavy implications that she met the Yaksha Zhao. Additionally, she talks about a guard she meets in the Guli Plains who had a heavy stutter. She made a potion to cure him, however it caused some minor side effects. One minor detail I found interesting when reading the guide was how she talks about the effect of eating certain types of mushrooms, allowing the consumer to see visions. While entertaining to read, the travel guide doesn't seem to be the most useful at guiding adventurers. When you play through the quest, just for book's sake, Yifang mentions how the Liyue edition of the Teyvat travel guide is out of print due to its unpopularity. He even goes as far to say that the series is rather conscientious due to a highly personal and subjective writing style, reading more like Alice's personal diary rather than an actual travel guide. With Inazuma around the corner, I am interested in finding out more about Alice's travels through Teyvat. Not only is Alice herself very strong, she also has a lot of friends in high places. We hear about one of these during Mona's story quest when we discover that Mona's master sent Mona to recover her diary from her rival friend in Mondstadt. Eventually, Klee returns the diary to Mona, bringing to light the fact that the rival friend is in fact, you guessed it, Alice. Mona's master is a highly skilled astrologist and a powerful woman. For her to see Alice as a rival and as a friend must mean that Alice is a very formidable person. Another time we hear of Alice's friends in high places is in Albedo's character stories, where we find out his master, Rhindottir, sends him to her old friend Alice. While little is currently known of Rhindottir, we know she is a proficient alchemist with a mastery over the art of Kima, an advanced type of alchemy. For Rhindottir to trust Alice with Albedo, she must have had a lot of respect for Alice. The Hexen Circle is an organisation of witches that explore domains and have formal tea parties. It is mentioned in Barbara's character story, Alice's Idol magazine, that Alice is an elder of the Hexen Circle. I've mentioned many times how powerful Alice is. Albedo even goes as far to call her a near-omnipotent sorceress in the finale of the Midsummer Island Adventure. Some of Alice's abilities that we know of include a mastery of alchemy. Alice is well known for her crafting of bombs. According to the Teyvat travel guide, she's currently trying to create the perfect explosion catalyst. She's also the person who taught Klee how to make bombs, much to Jean's dismay. Alice has also shown her prowess in creating powerful potions, even capable of curing people's speech impediments with minor side effects. Alice also has an immense mastery over magic. This is mentioned by both Albedo, as mentioned earlier, and Diluc, who said that other than Barbatos, the Anemo Archon, Alice is the only other person in Mondstadt who was capable of preparing the events that happened during the Golden Apple Archipelago. Alice has the power to create strong magical shields as well, such as this one, and also has powerful magic detection, as shown in the Teyvat travel guide. Alice mentions in the guide how she can detect a great relentless power stirring somewhere in the depths of the ocean. What she doesn't know is she was actually detecting a Sile before it was freed by Tartaglia. Alice has a strong interest in science and performs many experiments. Many of these experiments included the use of hilichurls, one attempting to make a perpetual motion machine and launching device, and another attempting to control ruin guards. She also created at least 3 prototype self-propelled seashell boats for a woman living in a giant sea snail shell. These all exploded, however, and for some reason the woman decided she didn't want one anymore. Finally, Alice has a mastery over engineering. She created the wind-ride boat, as well as the mechanism used to lift the islands up in the Golden Apple Archipelago. She most likely created all the games and challenges found there as well. There are many pieces of information which allude to where Alice might be from. We know she doesn't come from Mondstadt from the gliding instruction manual, where Alice is described as a tourist. In Barbara's character story, Alice's Idol magazine, Barbara mentions how Alice gave her an idol magazine, and that Barbara had no idea where it came from or what an idol was. Alice had intended to create the Teyvat Idols, an idol group containing an idol from each region in Teyvat. However, her plans fell through, leaving Barbara to define what it really meant to be an idol. In the description for the Wings of Feasting from the KFC event, it is said that Alice obtained the wings from another world and recoloured them to suit her family's colour scheme. The fact that Alice was able to acquire 2 items seemingly from another world suggests to me that she may not be from Teyvat at all. It is also mentioned in the finale of the Midsummer's Island adventure quest that both Alice and Klee are a race blessed with longevity. While we don't know what Alice looks like, Klee has unusual elf-like ears. In fact, in the Chinese dub of the game, Kai refers to the two as unfettered Zhangling, which refers to supernatural entities such as elves, spirits and fairies. While we don't have unambiguous proof, I believe that Alice is an elf from another world, potentially isekai'd into Teyvat, similarly to how the Traveller was. I think as we progress through the 7 nations of Teyvat, we're going to find out a lot more about Alice and her adventures, both through her diaries in the Teyvat travel guide, and through other characters' experiences with her. Due to her impressive power, it is likely that if we eventually do find her, she will have a big impact on the story. If miHoYo do decide to introduce 6-star characters in the game, I have no doubt that Alice will be one of them, as she's described as having Archon-like powers. miHoYo have announced that their roadmap for Genshin Impact has extended further. This could be for many reasons, ranging from a previous underestimation on how long it would take them to develop the game, or due to the unexpected popularity that the game has had worldwide. miHoYo want to add more content to the game, having more characters that are able to travel to other worlds, provide them with much more content in the future. To me, Alice is a very interesting character. Not only is she the parent to my favourite character Klee, but she is clearly quite powerful and has a lot of mystery behind her. I hope eventually we'll be able to pull for Alice, as I'd love to see how the mother-daughter team would work together, and I'm really interested in finding out more on Alice's past, present and future stories. What do you think about Alice? Is she an elf from another world, or just a very powerful person from Teyvat? Will we meet her in the story? And if so, will she get her own banner? Let me know in the comments, and if you enjoyed this video, be sure to subscribe. See you next time.